A super soldier from the 40s, a Norse god, and a flying metal man flying through the sky. What do all these characters have in common? They're Marvel characters, and now pop culture icons known as Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. But they weren't always the household names that they are today. Superhero movies have captured my imagination since Spider-Man came out in 2002, and they really haven't let go, which is why I decided to do my speech on Marvel and Marvel Studios. Today I'll share a brief history of Marvel Comics, how they transcended to the blockbuster movies, and the story of Marvel Studios, and how Marvel Studios is shaping the blockbuster action movies throughout Hollywood. Marvel started from humble beginnings. Stan Lee was initially hired by a company called Timely Comics, which soon became the infamous Marvel. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby wrote for Captain America, Human Torch, and Namor, and became the original superhero team, the Defenders. In 1971, the Comics Code Act banned drugs, alcohol, and what was considered to be violence in comics, because at the time, comics were seen as a bad influence for children, a lot in the same way that video games are seen as a bad influence today. Because of this, comic writers were demonized. Stan Lee wanted to quit, but his wife encouraged him to write one more comic the way that he wanted. Because of this, he wrote the Fantastic Four comic, which turned out to be a huge hit. This led to Spider-Man, X-Men, Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk. Despite his success, Marvel almost went bankrupt in the mid-90s, and sold popular character rights, including Spider-Man to Sony, X-Men, Daredevil, and Fantastic Four to Fox. This was seen as a means to an end to save the comic empire. X-Men, which came out in 2002, according to Internet Movie Database, made $50 million opening weekend in the USA, and Spider-Man, in 2002, made $110 million opening in the USA. This proved that there was a clear market for the superheroes in the movie industry. Not long after their success, Marvel wanted to make movies of their own again. So they created Marvel Studios so that they could have their own creative rights with the characters that they still own. This led to Iron Man launching the company, which led to Iron Man 2, Thor, and the Hulk. This created somewhat of a cinematic universe, and for those of you who don't know, a cinematic universe is when movies from separate franchises take place on the same timeline or world. The characters connect, and there's crossovers. Christopher Palmieri, Michael White from the Bloomberg Business, reported that Disney bought Marvel on July 2nd. This included all films, future projects, TVs, and rides. In 2012, Avengers came out, becoming the third highest grossing movie with $1.5 billion dollars in tickets. Marvel has no plans of stopping. Marvel has plans for movies through 2019 with 3 Avengers and 6 new franchises. DC, their rival, has plans for movies to come out through 2020. Fox and Sony are also competing, coming out with their own cinematic universes to copy and compete with Marvel. Sony has Ghostbusters to launch their own cinematic universe there, and 7 Robin Hood movies. Universal is also relaunching their monster movies, like Dracula Untold and The Mummy, which will come out in 2016. Disney is also relaunching their Star Wars universe with a new trilogy and 2 spin-off films. Marvel has proven to be a huge success in comics and movies alike. Marvel will prove its ability to make great movies fans will love for years to come.